Hello, welcome to New Time Conversations. I'm Olivia from Elemental Living, and this is Karen from the White Temple. Hello. Today we're going to be talking about what happens when you start to evolve into your spiritual journey, and when you feel like you're going into a higher vibration or into the new start, and your friends and family around you are basically staying where they are, and what you can do about that, and how it might feel, and just things that how you can be. So
obviously, this is like a really big thing for a lot of people, and the thing that will hold people back on their journeys for quite a long time, because connection and feeling safe and having community around us is such a big part of our well-being, and such a huge need for us. So obviously, when you're starting to move forward in your own journey, and you know that your family and your friends aren't really into it, it's gonna create a big chasm, because there's gonna be a situation that presents itself whereby you either have to entrain back to their level when you're with them, so that you can connect with them, or it's finding how to remain in your own integrity whilst also wanting to connect with them on some level. And it's like, how do you do that? And most people generally start off by continuing to sort of be at their level whenever you're with them. So in kind of aura mediator talk, that would be like climbing back down the ladder of dimensional frequency, to meet other people at their vibration. And it's not about, this isn't about spiritual superiority. It's not about, oh, I'm more spiritually superior than you, and now I have to climb down the ladder in order to meet you. It's not like that. That's not the way that it's meant. It just is the way it is. It's just about, you are in a different frequency place than these other people that you love. And most people will find that they will start to still connect on that level, and that it becomes increasingly uncomfortable to do so, because seeing as you are strengthening your truth and your path, and your vibration is changing, that a part of that, a symptom of that, is feeling the pain when you are not in your truth anymore. And so it will become increasingly uncomfortable to have to compromise on your truth in order to fit in with other people. So do you have anything to share, or should I continue?
I did have, but I've lost it, so you can continue.
Fair enough. So it's a really hard thing that we all have to go through to some extent. Everybody has to pass through this. It's almost like an initiation within itself. And for me, there's a couple of things to share. So one is the fact that there is that side of it, that certainly with friendships, that as your vibration changes, obviously new people will come in, and and other people will just simply kind of vibe out of your life. It can happen quite naturally. Sometimes it can happen a bit more explosively, like if you're not listening, like if there's a friend that you have, for instance, and within yourself that there isn't a vibrational alignment, but you're still hanging in there. Sometimes something quite explosive can happen to just clear that person out of your life. And it's not we can feel a lot of guilt around it. We can feel really bad, like we're being a bad person for not wanting to put energy into those friendships anymore. But that's not what it's about at all. That's a very human reaction. All this kind of guilt. Like, guilt is such a life-sucking energy that is completely void of truth. I mean, there are elements, obviously, where guilt is quite valid now that I think of it, but depending on what level you look at it. But most of the time, like in this situation, you know, it's simply a matter of resonance. It's
And it
simply
doesn't necessarily mean that they won't come back in your life.
That's true, yeah. Sometimes it can be just for a moment of time, like, you know, that energy isn't right for you and you need to go somewhere else. So there is that element of being able to trust, again, just trust in your resonance, trust where you are being called, the direction that you are being called in, and to be able to just follow that without any drama, ideally. But obviously with family, it's a lot harder. That's where there's like, you know, that's where you get all the good juicy stuff, because that's, you know, we've chosen our families to be with us for life. So obviously there's always stuff there that's like a core part of our journeys, and can often be like a journey that keeps unfolding and new chapters and new chapters. So for me, should I carry on, or is there anything you want to come in there? Because I realise that at the moment it's just a monologue.
It's not a conversation anymore.
This is not so much a conversation, this is more like Karen's show.
No, I did want to say about, obviously I'm reading the initiation book, and in that she's just got to the bit where she's talking about her parents and how she's realised that obviously they are only her parents in physical form, that they are just beings. I feel like that's kind of relevant, but I don't know if it's relevant right now in the conversation, but just wanted to bring that forward in the sense of, I think in some ways that gave me some comfort on my spiritual journey to think about the fact that, like obviously I love my family to bits, like it's ridiculous, but at the same time it's like they are my family in earthly form, and I've been put in on earth to be with them, for them to teach me things. And if you do have pain around those relationships, it's really good to kind of understand what you've gifted each other through those relationships, and then you can kind of see the bigger picture, and that really brings some solace, I think, to if you do get a lot of triggers from your family.
Yeah, just to kind of just as like a kind of freeing of a lot of the unnecessary turmoil around it, to have that higher perspective. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, one thing that happened for me after my aura transformation is that I gained more detachment as well. So it was like, because the karmic contracts were kind of cut, I felt like I could just, you know, there wasn't any stuff there. It was more just you know, these are the beings that have brought me up in this life. And, you know, regardless of any, you know, any kind of stuff that happened, it's like, thank you.
Thanks for that.
Thank you for accompanying me on this journey, and you know, and it just becomes like there's just less energetic debris between you. It's just like, oh, there are these beings, and yes, they may not be part of my kind of spirit tribe, but that's okay. I can still spend time with them because they're, you know, I've journeyed with them.
And I was saying, I think in one of the videos we did the other day about, you know, when you become, again, bringing it back to truth, and you become more in your alignment, then you kind of release your family to do it as well, because then they're not so, it's like a codependency thing, isn't it? And if you're kind of buying into their story or journey almost, then they can't escape either. It's almost like that when you go on it almost gives them a breath of fresh air, because they're like, oh, she's doing her own thing now.
You've broken that matrix that they're also locked into.
And fulfilling their needs of you is not your truth. So it's going to make them feel uneasy anyway, because you don't feel easy within yourself. So it's kind of like, almost like, you know, like, oh, she's doing what she needs to do now. I can rest easy knowing that she's happy doing what she's doing.
Thank you. And that leads beautifully into my next point. Which is that one of the most profound changes that I've experienced, that literally was just like breaking out of prison for me, was coming to a place of really getting, like at a very deep level, the fact that nobody on this planet can really meet my needs in the way that I can, and I have to take responsibility for that. there's no use in getting upset with somebody because they haven't asked me how I am yet, or because they're being like this, and because they're childish in this way, or because they've had that reaction to that, or whatever. You know, it's like, because all that is coming from a place of wanting other people to be different so that they'll meet my needs.
Yeah.
And actually, you know, I'm the only one that can do that. So it's up to me to say, by the way, you know, this is how I am right now, or this is what I'm doing right now, or whatever. But that it's like a kind of, it's like only I can meet my needs. It's like seeing the fact that other people, they can't be what you want them to be. There will be people in life that they do meet your needs in certain ways, and these are the people that you will choose to spend more time with. You know, like, so our friendship, you know, meets my needs in certain ways, and there'll be another friendship that meets another need. But there will be some people in your life, and because your family isn't people that you've chosen, because they're in the same kind of resonance as you, you know, that you just have to kind of be actually loving towards them and free them from needing to meet your needs.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's like truly just getting the fact that they cannot be that. They cannot be that.
And often, oh, sorry, you finished?
No.
Okay,
Like they can't be that way. So you're actually being kind of unloving in a way to be expecting them to, and getting disappointed in them all the time, because so you may be kind of in reaction against the fact that you're not getting the love that you want from them because they're being judgmental or this or that or the other, but actually you're being judgmental in return to them because you're expecting someone to be something that they just can't be. You know, they can't come to that level, so you have to release them. And it's a part of, you know, you becoming more compassionate as well, because when you can take responsibility for your needs, you've got your back, you know that you can take care of yourself, you're honouring your needs, you're honouring who you are. So you're not expecting other people to rescue you or to fulfill that in you.
It's really beautiful.
And therefore you can then be compassionate. You can just let people be as they are. They don't need to be anything different. And so when I sort of really got that, you know, that I'd be like, you know, going to see my family, and, you know, and it used to be that I'd be hoping, you know, that I was going to experience like a deeper connection this time, or hoping that I'd have the opportunity to talk about this with them, or to share this part of my life with them, or, you know, hope, you know, like I'd have certain desires or expectations that I want from it, and then, you know, and then I would get disappointed. So, but when I shifted that to a place of, no, I've got me, I don't need them to be anything. I don't need anything from them. And then all of a sudden I could have a really nice time with them because I was being compassionate and just letting them be who they are.
Yeah.
And I started like enjoying who they are.
Yeah, it's really lovely.
Thank you. Go.
Okay. Yeah, just coming back to what I was saying before about, because I know, like, obviously everyone, you might be like, well, that's your childhood, but my childhood was X, Y, Z. And obviously there's a belief system that, you know, you get put into the place that's almost the opposite of what you need to become. So yeah, it might mean that when you're younger you had this kind of struggle or whatever it was that happened, but that's allowed you to kind of come to the place that you are. So if you can kind of see, again, just coming back to seeing that journey and see the gift that you've been given, then you can release that. I just wanted to kind of like reiterate that, and then you can let that go and kind of, and then be with your family. I think families tend to have a lot of healing stuff around that kind of needs to happen to let that go in order to, like what you say, kind of.
Yeah, so first kind of recognising the gift.
Yeah.
The higher purpose as to why you were with them, why you chose them.
There's a reason that they have been your family, and, you know, it's a gift that, because not everyone will have experienced the love and support of being with their family. So it's just understanding like why you've been with that family. So then you can then release that, heal that, and then come to a place where you can just be with them and respect them for beings rather than holding all that stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Nice. And just one other thing, which was, you know, that, you know, it's a part of this story, so I feel like I want to share it as well, even though this video is a little bit longer. But another thing that really released me was, and this is more relevant to, I guess, before the
Mm.
Aura transformation, when I was more kind of connecting with Mother Earth and the Great Spirit, was actually coming to a place of realizing that everything on Earth has a kind of limitation to it. Like the love that you experience from people is always going to be bound up with human stuff. There's like this deep yearning in us for connection. Like we want love and connection so much because that's our source. That is the deepest truth, that we have come from, the wholeness of the universe, where everything is connected and everything is one, and then we've been born into these separate bodies where we all feel separate, and our instinct is to just connect in again. That's why we want to make love with someone, we want to be with our family, we want to, it's like that instinct is to just reconnect, to experience that unity again. But with all the human stuff that comes with with being on this planet, we don't get that experience so easily. But what I want to share is that for me there was a massive stage in my spiritual journey where I re-identified my mother and father as, well, not re-identified, but I acquired a new mother and father, if you like, in being in Mother Earth.
Okay.
And Father Spirit.
Yes.
So rather than expecting and getting disappointed, at the level of love that I was getting, the level of connection, the level of acceptance, the level of holding from my earthly parents, I was able to release them from that humongous kind of duty, and actually again just appreciating what they have done for me, which is still massive. The amount of time that people put into parenting, whether they're perfect at it or not, it's still a huge thing to give to somebody, and started to actually connect in more with Mother Earth and the Great Spirit. So if you are inclined on your spiritual path in that direction to want to connect more with the energy of the planet, I mean, I know this is not for everybody. This is like to connect with the kind of universal energies or energies of nature or spirit at all, and it's not necessarily confined to the new time energy either. It's kind of opening back out again. But it is a way of allowing yourself to really get all that love and holding that you felt you missed out on, because there is a infinite amount of love, from the infinite source, which you can identify, you can imagine as being, in the Native American Indian sense, they would be like, call out to Father Sky and to Mother Earth, and to imagine that love from both of those sources holding you and loving you. And when you develop that sense, to the point where it's real, it's not just that you're imagining it, you really feel it. I mean, that was a very beautiful leap in my journey. So
yeah, I completely concur. I actually had moments of that when I was on the crystallization process.
Okay.
So it's really beautiful
nice
to share that, because I think it's really valuable on that journey to kind of feel that you are supported at all times, basically, and at any moment you can access that.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to get to someone to get it or be somewhere to get it. It's within you at all times, like no matter where you are, what you're doing.
Yeah. And then ultimately, I guess again, in taking it to another level again, in terms of you coming into a place where you're really owning yourself and you're embodying your power and you're kind of honouring your needs and living your purpose, and you're just really getting into your own power. I guess in a sense, then there's also coming to that place of your own inner king and queen that is holding you, that has you in unity. You can imagine like your kind of inner child in your heart, and your own king and queen, which is running your life and which you can depend upon, and which is protecting that inner child within you. So there's lots of different levels. That again, so it's all kind of this theme of like releasing your family and releasing people from needing to be something that they're not.
Yeah.
Through you, finding your own resources, and so that you can then actually be compassionate towards them and enjoy who they are and what they've given you.
Yeah. It's been nice. Yeah,
Is
thank
that
you.
the end?
Yeah,
Okay, thanks everyone.
thank you.